this time last year, I came to Norfolk to test a whole range of focal lengths, loads of different lenses, and I spent almost the entire time on a 100 to 400. So now it's my chance to test out the new RF 100 to 500mm lens, and so I thought the perfect place to come would be to come back to Norfolk and spend a whole day shooting with this paired up with the EOS R5 to see what it can do. I'm waiting now for this swan to shake, and it's not doing it, so hopefully I'll get one of those shots, but we'll see. I love the versatility of this. You know, you've got the wide end is 100. Yes, it's not wide, but on a landscape like this that actually could look quite boring if you were using a wide lens, with the 100mm minimum focal length on this, you can actually see so many more layers than I think you would with a wider lens. Actually, there are certain landscapes that just scream out for longer lenses. I'm going to be shooting quite a bit of wildlife with this today, hopefully. Of course, with wildlife there's never a guarantee, but we are in Norfolk, and so the one thing I can guarantee is that I'm definitely going to get on a boat. There is nothing better, I believe Ratty said, than messing about on the water. And so we've got a picnic boat, we're heading out down the Broads from Potter Heigham up to Barton Broad. For anybody who knows the Broads, Hickling would have been my first choice, but unfortunately the tiny bridge is out of action. So we're going to head up to Barton Broad, where I believe there's meant to be some fantastic wildlife. There's some reed bed walks, so we should be able to moor up the boat and see what we can get. Now already on the way we've seen cormorants, swans, grebes. We've only been going about 20 minutes. I mean, admittedly, it's not quick progress, but it's very relaxing, very nice. So I'm just we've got a canopy open over here, got the camera at the ready, so we're just gonna see what pops up and hopefully get some really lovely wildlife shots down here. We finally found somewhere to moor up and turn the engine off and talk to you guys a little bit more about this lens so you know some of the specs. Now, this is the RF 100 to 500 f4.5 to 7.1 LIS USM. We have dual nano USM AF motors in there, which are quick, precise, accurate, and very, very quiet. Now, the quietness hasn't mattered to me so much today, but it would normally in a wildlife shoot, of course. However, the accuracy has been incredible. We're on a moving boat, normally moving not very fast forwards, and oh, that dog didn't like it, did it? And the accuracy when I've had it in animal IAF with tracking has been incredible. I'm getting things like swans, grebes, even a cormorant as well, which is difficult with the colouring, and it's picking up their eyes from miles off at 500mm. So that, so far, I've been really, really impressed with. Those motors seem to be working very well. Image stabilisation, we got 5 stops of image stabilisation in the lens. You can pair it up with the camera as well. With the R5, we've got 6 stops, which is brilliant, even at 500mm, which on a boat moving like this has been a bit priceless today for me. Inside we've got a super UD element, we've got 6 UD elements, and altogether they help to do things like minimise ghosting, flaring, chromatic aberrations, distortions, just to make that optical quality the best that it can possibly be. Now, this is an RF mount. We would expect absolutely premium quality, and from what I can see so far, it is delivering. Of course, I'm seeing it on the back of a camera. Hopefully they're looking great to you. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking. If you've been lucky enough to already get your hands on a 100 to 500, I'd love to know what you think and your experiences so far with it, including things like the autofocus capabilities and just the overall image quality. But for now, I'm going to go back out onto the water. We're going to start heading back towards Potter Heigham, because I think it's about 3 hours from here at walking pace, and see what other wildlife we can see to get some more images with this 100 to 500. This morning was incredible. I hate getting up early, but it makes it so worth it when you get light like that. It was amazing. The mist was incredible on the water. There was a young swan. I like to call them swanlings. I'm aware that's wrong before the comments light up. And these little swanlings were going about in the incredible light, water dripping off their beaks with the fog. It's a photographer's dream, a morning like that, and there's nothing better than having something like the R5 to shoot it with. Being able to be at 500mm, get nice and low to the ground and really have that feeling of depth in an image is something incredibly special. The autofocus system was picking up things that I didn't realise I could pick up. I was sitting, it turned out, in a cloud of midges when I was trying to shoot over the water, and it even started picking up those, which was madness. Made for some interesting shots, but also alerted me to the fact that I was probably getting bitten to death. The 100 to 500 focal length is just so incredibly versatile. What you can do with the 100 to 500 is amazing. I was getting landscape shots, I was getting close-ups. This has a minimum focusing distance of down to 0.9 meters and up to 1.2 meters at the 500mm end. So you can get so close to things, which is amazing. And there was little spider webs this morning with dew all over them, and they were really sort of in this dusk light, or this dawn light, and it was very nice to be able to carry around a lens and have that complete versatility. And you know, when the sun did start peeking through the trees, you could step back and use that lens to create, you know, big circles, huge circles of bokeh behind, which were the sun, you know, and highlight plants against them and things like that. And that's something that it's difficult to do with a lot of lenses, and it's so nice. Yes, do I like shooting landscapes? Yes. You know, if it was a stormy day, would this be the first lens I picked up? Probably not, because I'd like something nice and wide on. But on a day like this, when the landscapes are very big, Norfolk has huge landscapes, big wide open spaces because of the lack of hills. Sometimes you actually need that length to pick out the landscape that you're seeing with your eyes. This morning, if I'd used a wide lens, there would have been a prick of light where the sun was, and you wouldn't have seen the mist, you wouldn't have seen the details of the grass and the little droplets hanging off of the plants, and you needed that to make that landscape come to life. And that's what I love about something like a 100 to 500, and this one particularly, because of the quality, the optical quality that you get coming through in those images. Although the 100 to 500 is arguably more a stills photographer's lens, I wanted to see what it could do in terms of video. So I asked Sean, who's behind the camera today, to take the 100-500 and the R5, which can produce incredible video, and see what they could get as we moved back down the Broads. I was not disappointed. Shooting some herons out there. They're quite far out, but with that 500mm reach, it means you can really see what's going on. We've only been here for about 5 minutes. We're getting bitten to death, but there has been some incredible birds, some nice wildlife. There's quite a lot of haze today, so hopefully we'll have enough light to keep shooting at some fast shutter speeds, maybe get some more birds in flight. Now, I did want to say before we carry on with this that I realise a lot of you will want to have seen an EF 100 to 400 Mark II versus an RF to 100 to 500 review. However, I haven't been able to get them side by side, which I'm sorry about. However, I did take the EF 100 to 400 Mark II to a local deer park. I used the RF to EF converter with the R5, this R5, in order to test out what it could do. And then when I was getting familiar with this, in fact, just a couple of days ago when this was first delivered, I took this to that same deer park with the R5 to give you guys an idea of compatible shots. Now, unfortunately, as I say, they're not side by side, I'm sorry about that, but here are some shots that are kind of similar to give you guys an idea of how these two lenses perform. For me, the RF 100-500 pips the 100-400 to the post. However, I wouldn't say the 100-400 is any sort of sloucher. It's still incredible optical quality, but you can see the difference with these RF lenses. Just like you'd expect from this calibre lens, we've got a focus limiter switch, AF to MF, stabiliser on and off, and we've got stabiliser mode 1, 2 and 3. You can also see the tripod collar here, super easy to adjust, feels very smooth and well built, doesn't have any like sort of niches out of it so that you can set it at specific points, but it does make it very, very smooth to use. And do you know, with that tripod collar, this whole lens weighs just 1,530 grams. It's very light for what it is. We've been super lucky today with the light. It has been amazing, but I'm so disappointed. It's just come over so hazy. There's a fog rolling in. It happened in the space of about 5 minutes. Luckily, I got a couple of nice shots of some herons, whilst we still had a little bit of sun penetrating through, but we're gonna hold on here, hopefully get some more shots, even if the light is a little bit more difficult and not quite as rich, not really a golden hour, but we'll see what happens. We'll hold on and hopefully we'll be able to get some stuff. What I will do is have to push up that ISO a little bit more in order to keep my shutter speeds high. So I think it'll be a good test of what this setup is able to do. I know it's not technically the 100-500 pushing up the ISO, but I think it's important to see what this can perform like even in like worse light situations. The light has sadly gone and my time with the 100-500 is up. So now it's time for you guys to tell us what you think. Get in the comments section and let us know what you think of the videos and stills that we were taking today. Or maybe if you've been lucky enough to get your hands on one of these, let us know your experience with it. We'd love to answer any questions that you have too, so you can pop them in the comments as well. And also, all the normal stuff, give us a call, send us an email, or if you want to do a little bit of reading online, you can pop onto our store page where you can also place an order if you're tempted, and I'll put a link to that in the description. Now, we do these type of videos all the time, so if you want to see more from us, maybe some technique stuff, more product stuff, we've got the R5 at the moment, the R6 is coming, the 600mm, the 800mm. You can, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on the notifications so you don't miss anything. We'd also love to know any ideas that you guys have for testing things like the 600 and 800mm, so pop that in the comments too. I am so excited to have been able to play with this. I love it. For me, the focal range is perfect, the image stabilization is insane, the AF performance has been amazing, and overall, the optical quality is just stunning. I'm a very happy bunny, and I hope anybody who's got this lens on the way to them will be too. But for now, from me, it's a massive thank you for watching.